Welcome to this status update by the Swedish Fund Selection Agency. I'm Erik Fransson, Executive Director of the Swedish Fund Selection Agency. This is a pre-recorded version of the information meeting that was held in Stockholm, November 18th, 2022. We pre-recorded this in English in order to publish it at the same time on this website as the meeting in Stockholm was taking place. This was done in order to provide all interested parties simultaneous information regardless of language in order to enable equal treatment of all interested. Questions from the audience in Stockholm will be answered and published on this website later on as soon as possible after the event in Stockholm. This meeting was planned some time ago, and we said to ourselves that what if we don't have anything to inform you about? That was not the case. We are happy to see that we have reached quite far in the process of preparing ourselves to be able to launch the first procurements. We're not done yet, and many decisions needs to be taken by us and the board before everything is clear, which also means that some of your questions at this stage cannot be answered today. Today, our agenda is as follows. Our focus has been to give you a correct view on where we are and also on our view of the way going forward. Today, Mashti Shamas and Magnus Strömer will take you through the presentation, and all team heads, Magnus Strömer, Tina Rönnholm and Mashti Shamas, will be introduced later on. The Swedish Fund Selection Agency was formed with the purpose of procuring mutual funds to the Swedish premium pension fund system. Our goal is to provide savers with high-quality funds, generating higher returns and, in the end, higher pensions. The Swedish Fund Selection Agency commenced operations in June 20th, 2022, after the new laws were passed by the Swedish Parliament in early June. The laws governing our activities and future procurements are designed and written in order to create a safe and high-quality fund offering. The future offering should be populated by funds that are suitable, sustainable, cost-efficient, and also transparent from a due diligence perspective. The future fund offering should also be viewed by the savers to provide freedom of choice and offer savers funds of different investment strategies and risk levels. The new law and also the new investment management agreements are to be signed will also focus on sustainability, where we will be looking for investment processes where sustainability is integrated in a good way and also where active ownership is being conducted. The transition of the fund offering will be a 3-year process where old investment management agreements are being replaced by new ones as we procure all existing categories one by one. The new law means that the bar is being raised when it comes to the quality of the funds being part of the offering. The old requirements focused on safety, but going forward, we believe that safety will be even further strengthened, and we also focus on high-quality investment processes. Both safety and investment returns will be improved, strengthening the pension system and future pensions for our members. Ongoing monitoring will also ensure that the quality level is being maintained during the length of the investment management agreement signed between the Swedish Fund Selection Agency and onboarded fund companies. The premium pension system is part of the state social security system in Sweden. It could be described as a fully funded defined contribution system where 2.5% of your income is mandatory being allocated to your individual savings account administered by the Swedish Pension Agency. The individual saver and member, they have a possibility to decide themselves on how to allocate this capital to different investment strategies delivered by mutual funds and between different risk levels. If no decisions are being made, the funds will be managed by the default manager AP7. The premium pension system was launched in the end of the 90s and today amounts to approximately 200 billion euros in assets. It's still a system where inflows are higher than outflows. In terms of pensions, and in 2040 we forecast assets to amount to approximately 400 billion euros, twice as much. For us being responsible to manage the fund offering, it's a huge responsibility. We have 8 million members today that rely on our work in order to be able to select high quality funds with a high degree of sustainability. And finally, providing savers with as good as pension as possible. Freedom of choice is still an important aspect of the premium pension system also going forward. It has in the past led to that also low quality and even fraudulent funds have been selected by savers. Going forward, our mission and work will ensure that only the interest of the savers is in focus when procuring funds and repopulating the fund offering. This is a process that started already in December 2017 when a political agreement was reached that the future fund offering on the platform was to be populated by high quality funds based on a procurement system process targeting the best funds and fund managers. After that, we had a consultation process for a number of years where legal aspects were evaluated and new laws were written. New laws on i.e. how to procure funds were passed and the agency commenced operations end of June. Targeting the first searches to be announced in Q1 2023, we are in the middle of a very intense period where we are building the new organization in parallel with preparing for the first searches. There are new professionals to be hired, teams to be formed, there are new processes to be designed, new investment management agreements to be formulated and written, and monitoring process to be designed as well. This is important, but overall, quality is more important than time. Given the important and challenging new assignment we have received in combination with a time schedule indicating 30 procurements during a 3-year period, the organization and people in it is of utmost importance. We do not have the luxury of long learning curves, and therefore I'm very happy to be able to announce that building the new team has had a very successful start, with experienced professionals hired in all positions, a team that will focus on building a safe and high-quality premium pension fund offering, benefiting our members. Our organization consists of the board and the office of the Swedish Fund Selection Agency. We have organized ourselves in 3 different groups: procurement and product strategy, investment due diligence, operational due diligence, and monitoring. We also have 4 cross-functional teams working across the different teams. Administration, Helene Långström, communication and sustainability to be announced, hiring process ongoing. Legal, Jessica Edvall, and quantitative analysis, Martin Groth. The 3 groups are headed by Mashti Shamas, Tina Rönnholm, and Magnus Strömer. Our board is composed in order to cover all important aspects of our operations, and we are fully convinced that they will be an important and valuable source of knowledge for our operation to benefit from. Our board decides on all major and strategical issues, such as, among other things, our business plan, procurement plans, specific procurement designs, procurement launches, procurement results, policy documents, and other things as well. It's our job to provide them with high quality decision materials. We have mentioned Mashti, Tina, and Magnus. We're happy that they will be responsible for the new process going forward. Mashti is heading up the procurement and product strategy team. Tina is heading up the managerial research IDD team, and Magnus is heading up operation due diligence and the monitoring team. They all have long and deep experience from the market and activities and within the activities that we are conducting. Our processes are designed and hard-coded in order to integrate all competences in our process from both safety and a quality perspective. Mashti is responsible for designing and running the searches. Tina for investment due diligence, and Magnus for operational due diligence and monitoring. The output of our new procurement process is the combined results of all our teams and competencies designed to deliver on our new law and also on the targets of our savers and members. And we are convinced that we will have the capacity to deliver on our new assignment, and I'm sure you as a fund company also are in a good position to be part of this important mission to strengthen the Swedish pension system.
Hello, my name is Marji Shamas and I am the Head of Procurement and Product Strategy at the Swedish Fund Selection Agency.
And I'm Magnus Strömer, Head of Operational Due Diligence.
To be able to deliver on all dimensions in our assignment, suitability, cost efficiency, sustainability, controllability, and high quality, the three units have developed a procurement process to help us succeed. Cooperation and discipline are crucial for us to achieve our goals to create a reliable system with higher pensions for the Swedish people. Through increased demands, better and more in-depth evaluation and monitoring, both before, during and after the procurement. The process is designed to procure, evaluate and ensure high quality of the most suitable funds on the platform. To be able to maintain a high level of quality, the controllability of the funds is very important to facilitate proper due diligence, both during the procurement and after. The process will be conducted in projects with members from all three units participating, and all three units will evaluate the submissions. In the first phase, the work is concentrated on the categories to evaluate what is on the platform today, what's the offering, what is the quality, to review the market trends, what funds are available, what styles are available, and what's suitable for the platform. We will also from time to time review the asset class and evaluate the categories, and they will be retendered when necessary. In the next phase, the preparation phase, we will design the evaluation questionnaire, the RFP, in cooperation with other units within the agency, as trading and legal, but also the operational due diligence team and the investment due diligence team. The qualification criteria will be set and also the evaluation criteria. The board will make a decision on the final criteria and the notice will be announced. And then we enter the procurement phase.
The ODD team is the team that many of you know already, since we are responsible for the monitoring of the current fund platform. And we are responsible for delivering on a couple of the core values, namely controllability and suitability. That means that in the procurement material there will be a lot of questions with the purpose of us ensuring transparency and availability of data and information. And the questions will be many and they will be detailed, and the purpose of this is to ensure the organizational quality of the funds. These will both be qualification criteria as well as evaluation criteria. And once everything has been announced and been made public on e-avrop, it's available for everyone. And I'm going to give you 4 tips. One is that even if you don't intend to take part in the first procurement, download all the material, go through it and make yourself an opinion and insight about it. The second is that once you start answering all the questions, make sure that you answer all of them. Don't leave any answers out, because that's the worst outcome in your replies. Number 3 is that answer truthfully. Don't answer in a way that we realize that something is different once we start the interviews, because that makes for a bad interview. And don't answer with the intention to do something in the future or trying to figure out what we're looking for in the answers. Answer truthfully. And the 4th and final tips is that run all your answers by everyone in the organization that is affected by the questions, so that you are all in agreement. Once everything is submitted back into EAVROP, it's available for us, and we start our big work. There is a qualification phase where some might not pass that stage. That also means that you won't have to pay the submission fee or the application fee. But then there's an evaluation phase where we make a deep qualitative and quantitative analysis.
We mentioned the multiple dimensions of our assignment numerous times during this presentation. We do this because they are new to the fund platform and because we want to be very clear and transparent about how we define them. Out of the multiple dimensions, suitability, quality, cost, sustainability, and controllability, I want to take a short moment now to focus on the concept of quality and sustainability in more details. Quality is a word that the government of Sweden, our key principal, whom we report to, emphasizes many times in the act governing us. The government stresses in its preparatory work that it has found no support in research for past performance being a guidance of future returns and the quality of the funds. The government is therefore of the opinion that the different parameters needed to analyze in order to determine the quality of the funds. Thorough analysis of both funds and asset manager is needed to be able to judge the quality. No definition of quality is given by the government, though, in the Act, but it's stated that the definition shall be made by the agency in the procurement materials. Since joining, this is what we have put our emphasis on. At the aim of today's presentation is to communicate the definition to you, our audience, so that you can start preparing for the procurements. When we evaluate quality, we focus on these areas. The first one is the investment philosophy. The investment philosophy should be clear and should explain to us why you think you can add value. The philosophy must be adopted by the entire organization, and it must be reflected in your daily work. Next step is the investment process. In the investment process is a description of how you do it. We want to know every step in the process from A to Z, from research idea to portfolio construction. What the steps are and in what sequence. We want to know who does what with which authority. We want to see the evidence of discipline, structure, repeatability. It is important to have a buy-in in the organization for the process from all team members. We want to see evidence that the process is implemented as described in practice. And the next is the team and firm-wide resources. This is the who are doing what in the portfolio management. This broad question will evaluate not only the fund manager and the deputy fund manager, but also the wider team and the firm-wide resources the fund manager can draw upon. We look at diversity, turnover, talent management, but also culture is very important. And at the end you have the performance. Performance is not an indication of future returns, but this will be the receipt that you will deliver what you are saying that you will deliver to us. And this is also where we have a lot of the quant analysis done to prove the work that you have done for us. You will also notice that we have drawn an arrow called sustainability through the 4 areas. And this is by intention because we want to see how well is the investment philosophy adopted the sustainability, and we want to see how integrated is the ESG in the process. We want to see what firm resources and what resources available to the manager from day to day for ESG, but then also to see how is the performance reflected in the ESG dimension.
When it comes to sustainability, the strategy is being worked on right now, and we are in the process of hiring someone who will look after that as well. And everything about the strategy will be communicated as soon as we are done. But the act that stipulates our work and sets the legal requirement for us is that we should be exemplary in the sustainability work and sustainability approach. And that sets a very high bar for everything that we do. And it will be everything that has to do with sustainability will be applied in 2 layers. First, the minimum criteria or qualification criteria will apply on all the funds on the platform, and that needs to be delivered upon by everyone on the platform. But then each and every procurement will have its own specific sustainability requirements that will be evaluated. And in the end, this will provide for the full liberty of choice for the individual savers.
And then we enter into the interview phase. The interview phase is an on-site meeting whereby we will have a clarification of your submissions to make sure that the submission, according to what you have written in the RFP, is the same. And then a final decision will be made on which managers that will be awarded. An award decision will be published and we will enter into the implementation phase. And this is an important phase whereby the agency will, together with the fund managers and internal teams such as legal and the fund trading, start preparing for the transition to make sure to protect the beneficial owners of the funds and to minimize the impact for all involved parties in this process. And then we enter into the monitoring phase.
So right after implementation, we have to start monitoring from day 1. And just to clarify on the contract time, the law stipulates that it can be no longer than 12 years. And there could be a lot of reasons why this could be cut shorter. Just like today, any breach of the fund agreement could potentially lead to a termination of contract. But what's new is that a decline in the quality that you had at the time of the award could also lead to a termination of the contract. So if we judge that the quality you had in the beginning, if that starts to deteriorate, we will start asking more questions, and that could lead to a termination. And then external factors could also create a need for a completely new procurement.
Transparency is very important throughout the process. Before we start the procurement, we will have an open dialogue with the market, try to inform as much as possible. Public information will be made available on our website, which we encourage you to follow and continue checking from time to time. And this is to ensure that everybody is shared with the same information at the same time, everybody treated equally. During the procurement process, a structured dialogue will be maintained, which means that we'll have a limited dialogue with the fund managers or those that are participating in the procurement. But when needed, we will ask for clarification. And also, all questions that we get will be collected and a Q&A will be published at a given time so everybody can get the same information at the same time. And then after the procurement process and the award decision is made public, we will offer all participating managers feedback upon request. And this is a very important step in our process because this will ensure that we have a very structured, disciplined, and well-documented process so we can give you the feedback.
And to sum it up, we will apply a holistic approach when it comes to the entire procurement process. All 3 teams are involved in both designing the platform, the procurement process, and the continuous monitoring.
It has been decided that our organization is to be financed outside the state budget in order to secure long-term targets and independence. Our operations will be financed by fees payable by participating fund companies. We have designed a new model which means that the old model will cease to exist and phased out over time when new investment management agreements are being signed. We foresee more and more clean share classes being offered on the platform, but going forward, we will also be able to handle rebates on a specific share class level. The new fee model is twofold. There's a participation fee that will be paid by all fund companies taking part of each procurement. It's designed to cover our costs and estimated to be Swedish kronor 18,000. This is to be paid before your tender can be processed. The second part of the fee model is an annual fee covering running costs. It's proposed to be either a half a basis points for passive funds or 1.5 basis points for actively managed funds. These fees will be charged all fund companies that have been awarded a new investment management agreement. This will be known upfront for all participants and can be factored in when you submit your proposals. Over time, the level of these fees will be reviewed so that they are targeting our actual costs and might be reduced if necessary. As all other state agencies, we are followed up on our operational efficiencies in order to be as efficient as possible. The searches and procurements are planned to commence 2023, quarter one, and our target is to complete all categories during a 3-year period. It's our guidance at this stage and the ambitious pace we are targeting. It is ambitious, but at the end, quality will always be more important than speed. It will be intense for us to get ready. And if you as a fund company would like to participate in many categories, I assume it might be intense for you as well. We are preparing for it, and it might be good for you to start preparing as well. Assume 30 procurements in a 3-year period. That's what we are preparing for. Maybe the picture you've been waiting for. We will start with one of these 4 categories. The categories that we will start with are European equities, passive and active, global equities, passive, Nordic equities, active, and global fixed income. The specific order of these 4 has not been decided yet, but as soon as we have more information, we will provide you with that information as well. For us to be able to do a correct assessment based on the new legal framework, it is very important that the material you're submitting is of high quality, well written, correct, and complete. All our activities are based on transparency and equal treatment, which means that you are all treated equal in our new process. No entities will have more information than others, and all new information will reach the fund industry at the same time. Our homepage will be the main source of information going forward. And questions that we receive during the event in Stockholm will, together with answers, be published on our website as well. Thank you all for listening.